WTIM.
Good morning. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining me in this segment is Illinois State Senator Steve McClure. Steve, good morning to you. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm well.
Glad to have you back around here today. We're going to talk some new things, at least new to me. Some listeners out there might be aware of some of these things going on, and we're also going to wrap around and talk about some of those things that we've touched on in previous interviews with Senator McClure. But we're going to start with a recent visit to the Capitol by NASCAR driver Justin Allgaier. This is, again, completely new to me. So if you would fill me in, listeners in, on that visit that he had taken to the Capitol.
Sure. So Justin Allgaier is local. He went to Riverton High School, and he has been someone who has done a fantastic job as a race car driver for many years. And last year he won the Xfinity Series championship at NASCAR. And to celebrate that, I decided that it was fitting to honor him at the state capitol. So I filed a resolution for Justin Allgaier Day, which will be November 9th of this year. And he came back to the Capitol to celebrate that accomplishment and the fact that we filed the resolution. So I hosted him at the Capitol, and he got to meet with the President of the Senate, Speaker of the House, did a meet and greet with fans as well. And then we did things like tour the Capitol, and we went up to the Dome. And so it was a really, really nice experience for someone who is someone who we're very proud of, who's done just such a great job. So it's very fitting to honor him, and he's always coming back and doing stuff in the community and trying to kind of promote NASCAR and promote the state of Illinois. And so it was very good to honor him. And I'm looking forward, by the way, to seeing him race in the Chicago Street Race, which will be a few months from now, because the state is trying to get more involvement in NASCAR. We've got the Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois as well. And so it's just a great, perfect time to have him at the Capitol, and everyone really appreciated he was there. And so it was a really cool experience.
I'm sure it was cool for not only others, but for him as well. And you said November 9th will be Justin Allgaier Day. Is that the day that he won? Is that his birthday? Is there a special significance to November 9th?
Yep. And last year, November 9th is when he officially became the Xfinity champion last year. So we're commemorating the 1-year anniversary of that, and we're hoping he does it again this year, by the way. I was going to file the resolution much earlier in the year, but he keeps winning races, so I wanted to update it to make it consistent with what he's currently done this year. So we did it later because of the fact that he keeps winning, and I think he's doing such a great job that I predict he wins the championship again this year, but we'll see what happens.
Hey, maybe you'll have to dedicate a new day, if it's maybe November 7th or whatever the case might be. But Justin Allgaier Day, November 9th of this year. It sounds like a really cool opportunity as somebody local. You said Riverton, and for somebody to be able to be a part of that. And also I can appreciate meeting with fans and doing a little meet and greet type of deal as well. So it sounds like he has a vested interest in Illinois and the success of his community. So a cool opportunity there. So Justin Allgaier Day on November 9th. Thank you for filling me in on that. Anything else when it comes to that visit, or would you like to turn the page to some other bills?
No, I would just say that Justin and his family are really, really nice, down-to-earth people. His parents were on the floor for the resolution, and it was just really nice. So you don't just want to see people successful just because they're from the area. You also want to see them successful because they're wonderful people, and that's exactly the case with Justin and his family. So it was a thrill to have him there.
Nice to have a down-to-earth human being probably be a part of that too. So definitely could probably go to the head. I could imagine if it were some folks. So that'll be exciting for him and family on November 9th as well. Well, let's turn the discussion to one of your bills. You had informed me that it is to help disabled drivers and disabled people. Where can you take me with that? What's the status of the bill, and what are you kind of working with there?
Sure. So I had a constituent come into my office and let me know that people who are permanently disabled have to go and apply for a disabled placard and a disabled license plate every single year. And when they do that, they've got to provide a note from a doctor saying, yes, this person is disabled and therefore they should be able to get a specialty license plate or placard to indicate that so they can park in the disabled parking. Well, it occurred to me, why are we having these people do this every single year? It's really annoying to have to go to the Secretary of State's office or the DMV and to have to provide this documentation, go wait in line and go through all this, especially when someone has a permanent disability. So it's not like something's going to change. And so what the bill does is it says that if someone has a permanent disability, then they only have to show, they only have to provide a letter of that permanent disability once every 5 years instead of every single year. And so I think it's going to be a lot more convenient for obviously people that are either disabled or that are being driven by a family member, and that family member can get the plate as well to drive their disabled family member around. And so they're not going to have this inconvenience every single year for this doctor's note. And I think it just makes sense because, number one, we have too many people coming to the DMV as it is. If anybody that is listening to this has had to go in to get a real ID or anything else, it can take a long time sometimes if you're there to wait. And it also is something that doesn't seem to make much sense for people to have to come in that much when you have a permanent disability. So we got that bill passed out of committee, and it officially passed out of the Senate last week. And so now it's over to the House, where Representative C. Davidsmeyer is going to be the sponsor of the bill. So I just think it's a common sense bill, and it's another example of a bill where a constituent presented a problem to me, and we were able to, draft a bill and hopefully handle the problem in a way that makes it easier for people that are disabled who have to go in to get that, renew those plates or renew those placards.
It sounds like it almost puts them more on par with what other folks are having to do too, where it's, it's not like I have to go every year to get that, or, get a renewed license or whatever the case might be. So, to me, especially when it comes to a permanent disability, that sounds like, as you mentioned, just kind of common sense. Like, hey, I mean, this isn't a situation that's going to change, and why force that person to have to either go to a doctor's visit or even have the hassle of getting a doctor to write that note or whatever the case might be to get approved for that. And so hopefully, it sounds like it's already made its way out of the Senate, and hopefully the House will do what they should with that as well. Anything else when it comes to that bill? Anything in terms of like a timeline or anything like that, or anything else you want to share there?
No, we had a Senate deadline that last week that all Senate bills have to pass by Friday, essentially, and you can get extensions for that. But now what's going to happen in the Senate is that we're going to start taking up bills that have already passed the House and that started in the House. And so that'll take place over the next few weeks. And then obviously we'll get to the end of May where we've got a deadline for a budget. So the House is going to go through the same process. So the House has been hearing bills that start in the House, but they will soon take up bills that start in the Senate and that have come to the House, like this bill that we just talked about. And so, the timeline for this passing is just going to be the end of May. So hopefully it gets through with no issues. I also got a bill that I think you and I have spoken about on a previous show for cemetery boards where, the local township can still control what happens on the cemetery boards, and that passed as well. So that's also in the House, and Representative Coffey is going to carry that in the House. And so, I've got two bills in the House, and unfortunately, last year I had 7 bills pass the Senate. This year we've only had 2 thus far, and it's kind of indicating that not a lot of Republican bills are moving this year, and that's unfortunate. But at least we were able to get 2 bills that are good bills that are going to make a difference, and they're both reactionary to issues that constituents brought to me.
And for me, that I appreciate that on my end, just because it shows that you're plugged in to the people that you represent, and so it's appreciated here on this end. Well, I am joined by Illinois State Senator Steve McClure. We talked about Justin Allgaier Day, and that will be on November 9th. And we also talked about the disabled drivers bill that has passed the Senate and is now making its way to the House. When we come back around, we'll have more to talk about with State Senator Steve McClure here on WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
29 years ago, Steve and Jerry from Just Beds had a dream of becoming the yawn exterminators throughout the land of Lincoln, providing good night's sleeps for all the people. This calls for a celebration and a blowout anniversary sale. Dreaming of a new bed? This month, every Sealy mattress in the store is on sale. You can save up to $350. Just Beds 29th anniversary, where delivery, setup, and haul away are just part of the dream.
Just Beds.
This is Bill Pinkston, General Sales Manager at Landmark of Taylorville. We are celebrating springtime with unbelievable discounts. Right now, you can get employee pricing on most of our new in-stock models. You pay what we pay on our award-winning Chevy, Buick, and GMC lineups. Plus, with over 400 pre-owned vehicles in our family dealerships and our lifetime powertrain warranty, why would you buy anywhere else? Have a vehicle you want to sell? Bring it by for a quick, no-hassle appraisal. All roads lead to Landmark of Taylorville, where you can save thousands with employee pricing. And remember,
You always do better at Landmark.
If you're driving a tractor in a no passing zone, you should not pull over to let cars pass you unless you can safely and completely move your tractor onto the shoulder of the road. Don't just wave cars to pass you, as this can create confusion, especially if they can't see the road ahead. This week and every week in 2025, think and practice safety first.
This message from C&B Bank and Trust, helping to open doors for farmers since 1854. Member FDIC.
If you're looking for a local, full or part-time job in Central Illinois, there's an easy place to go to find current job openings. It's IllinoisJobPost.com. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. You'll find jobs available near you. And the best part is that it's free for candidates to access 24/7. If you want a local job, when you don't have to spend a lot of money on gas to get to, then you want access to IllinoisJobPost.com to check out current local job openings. That web address again is IllinoisJobPost.com. Another service from your friends at the Miller Media Group.
There's only one Central Illinois radio station that brings you the memories of the 60s and early 70s as you are cruising down the streets of your hometown. The dial position is 98.3 FM. The station is 98.3 WSVZ. From Macon to Vandalia and I-55 to I-57, cruising 98.3 plays the hits from early Elvis in the 60s to the British invasion of the Beatles, Herman's Hermits, and many more from the 1960s. Then we swing into the early half of the 1970s with artists like the Guess Who, the Doobie Brothers, and Elton John. Every song brings back something you remember about growing up. Set a button and crank up the station, playing good time rock and roll from the Tower of Power, cruising 98.3 WSVZ.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.
WTIM.
And we're back with the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm joined by Illinois State Senator Steve McClure. We talked a little bit about Justin Allgaier Day, and also a discussion with disabled drivers bill that Senator McClure has got through the Senate and is now making its way to the House. We want to come back around and talk a little bit about a sexual assault bill concerning school grounds, something that came out of Taylorville. And Senator McClure, what's the status of that bill right now, and what can you tell me there?
status of the bill at this moment is it's not moving, and I really, really worked hard on the bill, and we have, I believe, more co-sponsors. So I got Democrats and Republicans to officially jump on to help me sponsor the bill as co-sponsors. And I believe we have more co-sponsors than any other bill in the Senate this year. And so that just goes to show you how the issue resonates with other senators and how hard I've been working the bill, quite honestly, to try everything I could to get it passed. Unfortunately, the bill's not moving right now. It's just stuck in assignments. And assignments is the committee that every bill goes into when they're first filed. And almost every bill to get it passed has to come out of assignments into another committee. There's very, very rare exceptions to that. And unfortunately, the bill is just stuck in assignments. And that's where I think it's going to probably die this year unless a miracle happens, which I'm unaware of. And so I'm very upset by this, of course. I'm disappointed, and the family of the victim is very disappointed as well. But my commitment is I'm going to file this bill next year, and I'm going to file this bill every single year that I'm a senator until I get this bill passed. And I'm going to keep working it. Next year, my goal is to get even more sponsors on it. And, so stay tuned. But it's a very disappointing outcome. It's a very important issue, and we're not going to stop fighting to make sure that if some kid commits sexual assault in school or on school at a school event or on the school bus, that they're expelled for at least a year. I'm not going to stop fighting for that. And it's unbelievable to me that this does not pass automatically without any issue. But that's kind of where we're at in the state of Illinois. You have some people in the Democratic Party who don't want any punishment at all, whether it's for a student at school or whether it's someone who's a criminal as an adult. They don't believe in punishment at all. And the problem is that, number one, if people are not punished for something, they don't learn their lesson. And number two, in this case, why should someone who's been raped have to see that very person who did that to them at school the next day or the next week? And, talk about being traumatic for the victim here. But there seems to be a lot of compassion in the state of Illinois by some Democrats for people that commit crimes, and absolutely no compassion at all for people who were victims. And that is really messed up. It's
a weird state to be in. And while the outcome right now of the bill is not, of course, what I would want, and of course, what you would want, I appreciate that fight to continue to push for that, because to me, it just seemed like that was something that was just, all right, it's going to get the stamp of approval. It's going to keep moving, and it will be signed into law. I did not think there would be quite a hang up with it. And so either way, I do appreciate your update for myself and listeners out there. I do want to give you some time to also talk about funding for New Salem. This was something that we talked about last month, and it sounds like we have fully secured the funding and the grants that are needed. What can you tell me there with New Salem?
Sure. So after all the press conferences and the social media videos that we did, the governor's office finally relented and decided to give us $8 million to get New Salem repaired and in great shape again. And so that's a big deal. And in fact, that news story of us getting the money has appeared all over the country and in other countries as well. It was in the Toronto Star. It's in newspapers in Seattle and in San Francisco, and it's obviously made headlines across the state. So helping New Salem was a huge deal for the district I represent, because New Salem's in the district. But also, it just that money itself is helping to promote New Salem to tourists all over the place. So right. Money, but also the promotion of the site so that we can get more people there. And we get almost 400,000 people there a year. And we want the site to be something that we're proud of. And the state of Illinois has not taken care of it. But I think that's going to change. And it's all because of our efforts, and people like you as well for covering it has gotten the word out. And the governor finally said, okay, fine. We're gonna help you out here.
Yep. Well, Senator McClure, we are out of time, but I'm so happy to hear that at least that was able to get moved through and taken care of. $8 million for New Salem funding. You are listening to WTIM, your information station. We're speaking today with Illinois State Senator Steve McClure. Steve, thank you so much, And we'll be back around with more of the WTIM Morning Show just after this.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.